Künstler SEAK Claus Winkler. Oh ne, artist SEAK Claus Winkler. I don't know where this video is going. Let's find out. Let's check it out. Let's cover it together. This video is about art. Everything I do is part of my long-term artistic life performance. I have to say this because all these nice colors and forms and everything. Germany is, as well as Europe, under an anti-European, anti-white occupation, and now they're exchanging the people. And they hate free speech. Let's talk about my painting here and my style. This is work in progress, what you see. These are all letters saying the word SEAK, S-E-A-K. This A is in its basic form, it's already there, it's a small a. But I guess I'll keep on painting it more detailed. But maybe some of those A's I will keep in this like raw spray painted state. So I have all kinds of variants. Create nuances, different effects. This here is also a small a. Yeah. Now, since I'm awake regarding the politics and re-awake, I was already awake in my childhood and youth, but not as much as I am now. This looks in a way like Geuslop, you know? It doesn't have a message. It doesn't promote pro-German or pro-European values. I mean, you can frame it like that, but it's not polarizing in each camp. And maybe this is good or bad. I don't know. I mean, white people are 2%, 7 to 8% global minority. 2% of white women of fertile age. So, and I'm white. So maybe I should transform my art into something with a message, or something with a clear pro-white message. Yeah. But on the other hand, rich people are cucking away if they are white and if they are non-white but appear white. They're financing and supporting what's happening with the West, aka Edom. Anyway, I want to talk about my art. So the thing is, I'm maybe thinking about integrating, not in all paintings, but in some messages and content which is pro-white or pro-German, pro-German or pro-European identity. For those who they keep alive or they keep living, or I don't know. Question is also in which areas we are going. But I want to talk about my art. So let's talk about my art. I'm trying to. These are all letters. How you can see my art is also how you interpret my name, SEAK Claus Winkler. Why am I enriching this painting so much? They get thicker and thicker, denser and denser with informations, because I want to create something which is visually on the highest level, which would be like a computer game. It would have the best, the most craziest, the most advanced level of graphic and aesthetic and painterly quality, or how you want to frame or call it. Which is a challenge, because at some point then, if I paint here another layer, I have to overpaint something, which is always a bit of a decision to make. The way I'm painting is inefficient, because I'm overpainting myself and I don't know how the paintings are developing, but it creates it's the highest value, and it's from the highest quality. If you're not seeing it in a framing, gaslighting, artsy, gaslighting PR talk way. This is the back side or the front side. I don't know which it's supposed to be, the back side, but it depends on how you want to see it. Yeah, and even here I started to integrate layers. Finding has this blue SEAK style with like 1 E but 3 A's in the background. And then there's this red S here in front of. Spray paint, I like the structure here. It has, yeah. One thing was to, I have to put my shoes off, otherwise I'm putting my feet here on the canvas, on the paper. It's not canvas, it's paper. So, in a way, it's like you're a child, you're sitting and playing, and you have like your Spielzeugkiste, which is like a box with lots of different Matchbox, Playmobiles, Legos, toys, models, whatever has been collected or has been given to you in your childhood. And it's always a great surprise to put all these things out, and each form, each letter, I mean, not the letter, but each element or each play toy or how you want to call it is also nudging you, steering you in an escapism form in another time, you know? Especially when you are a child and you can relate because you are onto history books and you were into museums and you already saw and talked with adults and other children. You can relate to, okay, this is a truck from the 50s or from the 60s. This is a omnibus from the 40s, this is a tank from the 40s, or this is a tank from the 60s or 2000s, or this is this car, that car, this is different qualities, different brands, different materials. And this effect or vibe I want to create in my paintings too. So that they are, can create this inner bonding quality, you know, that you always can discover something new, which is beneficial or, appreciated in a way, and surprise and fascinate. If everything would look the same, it would be like horrible. Imagine it's super boring in a way. So there must be variance. So plus it's a possibility to the way I'm painting is like this blue layer, which is now has a rosé shade over and everything, and all these light effects. I probably did in 2019 or something. Yeah. And I painted this parallel to that dark green paper painting, which in the expansive frame, also from two sides. And I did like a few of these formats, but in different colors, to get into a flow and have this variant vibe instead. And so I have like different SEAK flavors, aesthetics, nuances, moods, techniques, handwriting, all from me in the same painting. And to collect this in an authentic, non-stifled, non-artificial way and in a natural way, I painted 4 paintings at the same time, but just finishing the main painting, which was that dark green painting. And these other were then growing later and kept on growing. So, and the thing is, and then maybe a few years later, I did like another layer and another layer, or like first and I did like this landscape or card things here, and then it's growing. I have to be a bit careful that I don't work too systematic on this painting, because that would reflect in the paintings, and I want also unsystematic patterns here inside. That's important, and that, I mean, maybe it's a mental gymnastic thing of being aware and present, or maybe it's a question of giving myself more time, as well as forcing myself to say, okay, I got elements which are like this blue, or maybe also turquoise elements, SEAK elements. Then I have this play toy or baby bathtub aesthetic, or beach swimming toy letter aesthetic. So what's next? Maybe painting something with brush, or something raw, or something in another, also not just in another color, but also with another technique, and maybe also more stubborn or raw or less defined. And then it's also a question of what should I overpaint? You know, for example, here I must leave everything pretty much like it is. You know, yeah. So this is another one of those pieces which had a very subtle, rusty, unpopular but mature, because of that, popular colors. No, not popular, but like not this like bright childish colors, but with a few elements like these. Now it becomes very appealing, I say. But if I'm keeping it too much on purpose, dirty, down to earth, unappealing, unbroken, bright, jumping in your face colors, it's maybe I don't know. And it depends, you know. It's there's an intelligence in how using colors and nuances. These elements, which looks like anal beads or anal chains, it's like which came probably were like the element while people are thinking my stuff looks like sex toys. I mean, the true story is much simpler. I've integrated anything which has a round shape onto my style, and anything other people were trying to avoid, to hide, to be ashamed of, la-di-da-di-da. If you will, my work is like super progressive, or was super progressive in the graph world. But if a lot of my artist colleagues who have this, I don't know, have certain aesthetic, are probably anything else than traditional and pro-German or pro-traditional, but full on left. But leftism is also like they want to get their pockets full and duck away and become part of the system, you know. Anybody's protected except their own people and their own folk. That's their logic. Anyway, I don't know if that's something which can be projected on art and on my paintings. It's also I'm trying to like keep making my work, or made my work like having the expression of maybe ships or national symbols or machines or technique and forms, but it also must be painted, and it also must be organic, because I'm doing everything by hand, with a medium which is was giving up a round form or round shape. So plus I want to have my own forms, and even for a while I thought about, it was like, I don't know, when was that, 2007, 6, 7. I thought about making more like the insignias from German planes and tanks on my styles, on my wall paintings, but I didn't do it for some reason. Maybe because the Balkenkreuz, for example, is also a Christian symbol, and something hindered me in my side myself. Also because it looks kind of like, I don't know, everything in my work is so round and organic that if I paint something graphic, and not graphic in terms of like sexual, but like something graphic design, sharp edged in my paintings, it can easily look like, he messed it up, It must have some kind of like flow. And yes, my work is, you see it here, very obvious. My work is kind of like put together like scale models, or like Playmobil, or like Lego. This is, I think I did this on purpose, because also inspired by other artists, just which always said like, yeah, it must need like a visual language, and it must be, you must be re-identifiable, and also it was about digging up in my own history. I wanted to be authentic, so I said I'm representing and reflecting the aesthetics and my own history. And that was like in the 90s, that was like, or in the 90s, that was my childhood, in the 80s and late 70s. So what I saw, what I played with, what I was interested in. So yeah. And my aesthetic is in a way that it's, or my aesthetic is, I'm thinking like a shipbuilder or a machine builder or an architect or like a weapon designer or car designer when I'm constructing my letters or my aesthetics, and also knowing like how a letter should look like officially, and then cranking it, over styling it, overdoing it, and yeah, and there are probably lots of subconscious meanings, which yeah, which is also a form of intelligentsia, which happens out of, yeah, you can say it's a side effect, And yeah, this is like a surprise effect. I didn't thought about that, la-di-da, but maybe that's the main thing. Maybe that's what I wanted to say. That maybe that's what steered me, and the official version, how I explain my work, is the actual side effect. So this year is also 2019. I bought this paper for this dark green piece I painted. It's from a roll. Yeah. And since then it's work in progress, and it's steady growing. I guess the last layer will be with oil, just because that after oil you can't do anything anymore. And I maybe integrate, because I recently learned about that they changed and cut away the German language more and more, to take away thoughts and processes and connections with culture, because Europe is Edom, la-di-da, and taking it away from Whitey. So I'm thinking on integrating in my work old German or old European or pre-German words. Yeah, to maybe to be in a resistant movement, how you want to call it. At the moment, this is just letters saying the word SEAK or the SEAK, or like forms derived from that in my typical visual language, or geometric forms also inside. With these elements here, which are everywhere, I'm trying to create inner happiness as well as self-control, which is probably connected to each other. So we have 20 minutes. I guess I'll hope I could so yeah, so this would need framing from two sides, visible frame, few thousand, like as I would count like a frame like this, I don't know, 1,700 roughly, more or less. With inflation, probably a little bit higher. Just the framing. Yeah, the question is also in which collections it should be. Who should own it? Taking care of it? Yeah. Beautiful pieces. And all these letters and paintings are basically layouts for further larger wall paintings or larger paintings or ideas for anything. And then you have AI who can do all this artificially. So, but this is original. So, yeah. And yeah.